The vast galaxy stretched endlessly in every direction, filled with stars, planets, and countless civilizations that had grown and evolved over millions of years. At the heart of this sprawling cosmic community was the Galaxy Council, a powerful alliance made up of the wisest and most advanced beings from hundreds of worlds. For centuries, the Council had worked together to keep peace and order, confident that no single force could threaten the balance they had built. They observed the stars and listened to the whispers of space, certain that any danger would be noticed long before it could arrive. Earth, a small blue planet on the far edge of the galaxy, was nothing more than a quiet dot in their vast maps. Known but insignificant, a world where simple life had only just begun to dream of the stars. The Council often overlooked Earth, seeing it as a place too young and too small to matter in the grand cosmic game. But one day all their certainty vanished like mist under the sun. Without any warning, something impossible appeared on their sensors. Massive warships unlike anything the galaxy had ever recorded. These ships were not made of ordinary metal or stone. Instead, they were constructed from dark matter, a mysterious and nearly invisible substance that bent space and light around them. They came silently, emerging from Earth's solar system in a way that stunned every watcher. The cold room of the Council's chamber suddenly filled with shocked gasps and hurried whispers. Eyes widened, and the usual calm faces turned pale as the realization sank in. Humanity, the once forgotten planet's inhabitants, had made a giant leap beyond all expectations. The Council's members quickly called for an emergency gathering, their minds racing to understand how Earth's people had achieved such a breakthrough. None had seen it coming, and the thought that a young civilization could now command such power sent waves of unease through the room. Questions filled the air. How had humans developed this dark matter technology? What did they want? Were they a threat or an ally? Outside the chamber, the stars seemed colder, the vast distances between worlds suddenly less safe. The galaxy's greatest leaders, who had spent lifetimes studying the universe, found themselves frozen in disbelief. This was not a mere new player arriving on the stage. It was a force that could rewrite the rules of power and influence. While Earth's ships moved forward with quiet confidence, the Council could only watch, knowing that the peaceful balance of the galaxy had been shattered, and that everything was about to change in ways no one could yet imagine. Far away from the startled eyes of the Galaxy Council, deep within the heart of Earth, the true story of humanity's rise was unfolding, in secret. For decades, hidden from the public and from prying eyes beyond the solar system, the best minds on Earth worked tirelessly on a technology that once seemed impossible: the control of dark matter, a substance that existed all around, but remained untouchable and mysterious. These scientists and engineers, driven by a mixture of curiosity, fear, and hope, had slowly unlocked the secrets of this strange material. Using it, they built ships that could bend space itself, slipping through the fabric of the universe like shadows. These warships were sleek, silent, and nearly invisible, designed not just for battle but for the mastery of space travel in ways no one else had dreamed. They could vanish from one point and reappear instantly in another, moving faster and more unpredictably than any fleet the galaxy had ever seen. The leaders of Earth watched the slow changes in their world and the increasing whispers of threats beyond their borders. They knew their planet could no longer remain hidden or ignored, the growing dangers of distant civilizations expanding. Their power and the unknown forces lurking beyond familiar stars pushed Earth's rulers to take a bold step. With quiet determination, they gave the order to send their fleet out, not with an act of war but a declaration. Humanity was awake, ready to stand tall among the stars, and prepared to protect their home with whatever force necessary. As the dark matter warship slipped from Earth's atmosphere and sped into the deep black, they carried not just technology, but a message of strength and resilience. The journey toward the galaxy's core was one of both pride and caution, for they understood the eyes of the universe would soon fall on them. Meanwhile, the Galaxy Council, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of these vessels, scrambled to respond. Diplomats who once dismissed Earth as insignificant now rushed to prepare messages of greeting and warning alike. Fleets that had been assigned to patrol quiet sectors were redirected in haste, trying to form a shield around the core worlds. The Council's halls buzzed with frantic energy, and debates ignited about whether Earth's move was a challenge, a plea for alliance, or something more dangerous. Every moment the human warships drew closer, the tension grew. Alien leaders whispered in fear and awe, their centuries of experience suddenly feeling fragile against this bold, unexpected presence. The ships moved with silent purpose, a steady reminder that humanity had become a player no longer to be overlooked. Across the galaxy, watchers and spies sent reports, their voices tinged with disbelief and concern. Who were these humans, and how had they reached this level so quickly? Was Earth ready for the challenges of a much larger stage? In every corner of the galaxy, the story of the dark matter fleet stirred hope in some, fear in others, and above all, a deep sense of suspense. The galaxy had shifted overnight, and the next chapter was about to begin, with Earth at its center. As the dark matter warships finally reached the edges of the galaxy's central territory, the Galaxy Council's chambers erupted into urgent activity. An emergency meeting was called, and delegates from thousands of different worlds hurried to gather in the Grand Hall, their faces a mixture of curiosity, fear, and uncertainty. The room buzzed with voices speaking in countless languages, some debating fiercely, others quietly exchanging worried glances. For many, humanity was a wild card, an unknown quantity that could not be trusted. They worried that this sudden rise of power might lead to chaos or even conflict, disrupting the fragile peace the Council had fought so hard to maintain. Others, however, were fascinated by the humans' boldness and the unique technology they wielded. These delegates saw opportunity in Earth's arrival, hoping that this new player might bring fresh ideas or alliances. The tension in the room grew as the Council's leaders struggled to find a path forward. Then, just as the debate reached its peak, the human envoy made contact. Their message came not through words or gestures but via an encrypted signal that shimmered across the Council's communication network. The voice was calm but firm, speaking in a language carefully translated for every delegate. The message was clear. Earth did not come as a threat, but as a partner willing to work for peace and mutual benefit. Yet beneath this offer of cooperation lay a warning carefully woven into their words. Earth would protect itself fiercely if challenged, and any attempt to threaten their home would be met with swift and unyielding defense. The room fell into a heavy silence as the full weight of the statement sank in. The seasoned leaders who had long underestimated humanity now faced a difficult truth. Their assumptions about Earth being a minor harmless world were no longer valid. These humans had risen quickly, armed not only with powerful technology but with a spirit of determination that could not be ignored. The Council realized that they had to reconsider everything they thought they knew about the galaxy's balance of power. The arrival of humanity was not just a new chapter, it was a challenge to the very order that had governed their universe for centuries. Discussions turned to strategy, diplomacy, and the need for cautious engagement. Some voices urged patience and openness, while others called for vigilance and preparation in case the humans' intentions changed. Yet beneath all the debates and plans, an unspoken feeling settled in the hearts of many. The galaxy had changed forever. Earth had announced itself not with aggression, but with a quiet confidence that demanded respect. The Council understood that whatever came next, humanity would be a force to reckon with, and the future of the galaxy would be shaped in part by this unexpected new player who had stepped boldly into the cosmic spotlight. As Earth's dark matter warship settled into their new position near the galaxy's core, the calm that followed the initial shock was anything but peaceful. Within the Galaxy Council, a hidden group of delegates began to whisper in secret chambers. These voices belonged to a faction that feared the arrival of humanity more than anything else. They saw Earth not as a partner, but as a dangerous threat to the delicate order that had ruled the galaxy for so long. This group, determined to protect their own power and the stability of the galaxy, quietly prepared a plan to strike first, hoping to crush Earth's growing influence before it could spread further. Their movements were swift but silent, gathering warships and resources without alerting the rest of the Council. However, humans were not blind to these hidden threats. Their scientists and strategists had anticipated such a reaction long before the Council's walls echoed with fear. Earth's commanders used their mastery over dark matter technology to prepare a response that was as careful as it was powerful. When the hostile faction made their first move, attempting to launch an attack, humanity revealed the full strength of their new abilities. Instead of launching a brutal war, Earth's warships used precise dark energy pulses to disable the enemy vessels, freezing their systems and cutting off their ability to fight or flee. No lives were lost and no ships were destroyed, but the message was clear. Humanity could defend itself with deadly efficiency and without unnecessary violence. This calculated show of power stunned every observer, both within the Council and beyond. The delicate balance of space warfare, which had always been marked by massive battles and heavy casualties, suddenly seemed outdated. Humans combined deep understanding of physics with a brilliant strategy that left opponents powerless but unharmed. The galaxy had never seen such a display, one that mixed force with control, strength with mercy. As the news spread, the Council was forced to face a new reality. The old ways of measuring power were no longer enough to understand Earth's place in the universe. The silent but unmistakable victory of the human fleet shifted the balance of power, showing that Earth had not only entered the galactic stage, but had done so with a force that could not be ignored or challenged lightly. The faction that sought to destroy Earth found itself exposed and weakened, their plans undone by a response they had not expected. The rest of the Council, watching carefully, understood that negotiations and alliances would now be shaped by this new strength. The story of the galaxy was changing, and Earth was at the center of this transformation. The test of strength had ended, but it was clear that the real challenge, the building of trust, respect, and a new order, was just beginning. The galaxy had been shaken, and everyone knew that the future belonged to those who could adapt to the bold new reality humanity had created, with the challenge of the hostile faction behind them, and the tension in the Galaxy Council easing into cautious respect. A new chapter began for Earth and the wider galaxy. The Council, once wary and uncertain about humanity's place, now welcomed Earth to the table as a full member. This was not just a token gesture, but a recognition of Earth's strength, its wisdom, and its willingness to engage diplomatically, despite having the power to dominate. The arrival of humanity had forced the galaxy's oldest powers to rethink their assumptions and strategies. Earth's representatives, though still young in the ways of galactic politics, showed a combination of humility and quiet confidence that surprised many. They brought with them stories of resilience, innovation, and a desire not just to protect their world, but to contribute to the larger community of stars. As Earth's flag was raised alongside those of ancient civilizations, the galaxy felt the weight of change. This moment marked the beginning of a new galactic era, one in which human creativity and adaptability would influence decisions that shaped the future of countless worlds. Across star systems, species watched with curiosity and hope, wondering how this once-hidden planet would rise as a leader. Earth's technology continued to evolve, pushing the boundaries of science, while its people balanced ambition with a sense of responsibility. The galaxy was no longer the same place. The stories told in council chambers now included Earth's name with respect and anticipation. This was a time of possibilities, where alliances could be forged, old rivalries softened, and new challenges met with cooperation. The humans knew the road ahead would not be easy. They faced enemies who still doubted their rise, and mysteries of the universe yet to be uncovered. But their journey had already shown that strength did not only come from weapons or fleets, but from unity, knowledge, and a will to survive and thrive. As Earth looked out into the stars, it did so not as a frightened planet isolated in space, but as a beacon of hope and power, ready to inspire awe and reshape the meaning of true strength in a galaxy that was wide, wild, and full of wonders. The new era had dawned, and humanity's story was now part of the galaxy's endless dance of stars and civilizations. After the threat from the hostile faction was carefully handled, and peace returned to the council chambers, a new and exciting Chapter began for Earth and the entire galaxy. The Galaxy Council, once filled with uncertainty and fear about humanity's sudden rise, now accepted Earth as an equal member. This was no small victory. It was a sign that Earth had earned respect through both strength and wisdom. The people of Earth did not seek to dominate or control others, but wanted to be part of the great galactic community, to share knowledge, and to protect their home and the universe beyond. The Council's elders, who had seen countless civilizations rise and fall, were impressed by humanity's balance of power and diplomacy. They noticed how Earth's leaders combined careful planning with an open mind, willing to listen and learn, even as they stood firm in their own beliefs. This gave hope to many species that cooperation was possible, even with a newcomer as bold as humanity. Across countless star systems, the news of Earth's acceptance spread quickly. Some watched with excitement, hoping Earth's creativity and resilience could help solve ancient problems that had kept the galaxy divided. Others were cautious but curious, knowing that change was inevitable when a fresh force like humanity entered the scene. On Earth itself, the feeling was one of pride mixed with responsibility. The planet had grown from a quiet blue dot on the outskirts to a beacon of possibility and power. Scientists continued their work on dark matter technology and other innovations, pushing the limits of what was known, while diplomats prepared for complex negotiations that would define the future. Earth's story became a symbol of hope, that even a young civilization could rise and inspire others through strength, courage, and respect. The galaxy had shifted. No longer could old alliances and old fears hold back the tide of new ideas and new leadership. The Council now faced fresh challenges together with Earth's representatives, who brought not only their technology, but also their values. This new era promised more than just peace or power. It promised a chance to build a future where many worlds could thrive side by side, learning from each other and growing stronger together. Humanity's journey was far from over. There would be tests, uncertainties, and dangers ahead, but the message was clear. Earth was ready to meet them. From the quiet planet that once watched the stars with wonder, humanity had become a force that would shape the galaxy's destiny. The Council chambers, once frozen in fear, now buzzed with new energy and possibilities. The galaxy had opened its arms to a new era, one where Earth's name would be remembered not as a distant world but as a powerful player, inspiring awe and hope across the universe. The future was wide open, full of endless stars and endless chances, and Earth stood ready to meet it all with courage and wisdom. This was the dawn of a new galactic age, and humanity was ready to shine like never before.